All right. Well, here we are again. All right. This is movie reviews here now. Let's see. We're gonna do Walk in the Woods first. Here, you can probably see that in the title there. Anyways, um, I'm gonna do a quick introduction here first for something that's not related to Walk in the Woods. There's a couple other movies I've seen in between. Uh, Tonight I saw Walk in the Woods and then Black Mass, which I'll have that review too here coming. But with Walk in the Woods, it's like I have less to say about that, so I'm gonna talk about a couple other movies first in this review. The other two movies I've seen in between the last video I did, the catch-up videos, and this one are The End of the Tour, which I kind of mentioned. I like that movie. It's good. Jason Segel is, I mean, wow, just shows, totally different side to himself. Great performance there, and Jesse Eisenberg's good. The thing is, the first 20 minutes for the movie or so for me was just really unengaging, I think is the best word. I just couldn't get into the movie until like the 20-25 minute mark or so. Then there's a particular like line of dialogue or a couple lines of dialogue in a row and a couple of conversations that the main two guys have, Jesse Eisenberg and Jason Segel, that I was like, oh, okay, now you got me. And then after that, then yeah, their road tour kind of begins, and I was like, okay, now I'm into it. But it's the guy who did the Spectacular Now, which was my favorite film a couple of years ago, did this, and not as good. Not as good. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's a good film, and Jason Segel is the standout, but otherwise it's all right. Then the other one was Mistress America, and this is from oh geez, the director's name I'm blanking. It's like Noah Baumbach or whatever his name is. Um, he directed this, and then another film that was released earlier this year, was made I guess last year, was While We're Young, which was for me very forgettable, and I didn't take too much to the film. And that had like Ben Stiller, Naomi Watts, Adam Driver, Amanda Seyfried. Here, this one, Mistress America, has Greta Gerwig and Lola Kirk. I think, yeah, those are the two main characters, anyways. And while while we're young, for me was totally forgettable. Just been there, done that. Little film. Mistress America is the polar opposite to me. Mistress America was fantastic. I thought it was funny. I thought it was memorable. The characters were just, they were sparkly, or I mean sparkling as in like their personalities were sparkling, and the dialogue, like I said, the dialogue, it was co-written by Greta Gerwig, who's the main star. Fantastic, great story, unique story. The relationships that play into the film, like it's a short movie. It's only like an hour and a half or less, and like the centerpiece of the film, and kind of, well, almost the entire second act or second half of the film, is set in one house, and like as the scene goes on and becomes multiple scenes playing out, it feels like a stage play, and it just gets better and better, and there's lines in there that are funnier and funnier, and it's great, and there's like these eccentric little characters that come in the middle of the film, and you're like, oh, okay, so we're getting in, and then they're funny, and they're charismatic, and they're memorable, and yeah, the two main girls are fantastic. Lovely film, really. For some, it just compared to the other one, While We're Young, this one, for me, the director, he nailed this one. This was great. As a matter of fact, and I was kind of like, while I was watching, I was thinking like, damn, this is like the most enjoyable time I've had in the theater so far this year. I was like, wait, is it better than Ex Machina? I don't know. I'm gonna have to see the film again. I might actually be seeing it again soon. I think it's still in theaters. Definitely, if it's in a theater near you, because its theater count is dropping. Total shame that it's not making any money. Great, beautiful film. Greatly, just perfectly written. Yeah, as far as like awards contention, it would be a dream to maybe see like Greta Gerwig as Best Actress. Kirk, well, she's a co-lead, but if she ended up, running in supporting actress, that'd be great. Yeah, the screenplay, God, what a great screenplay! Seriously, fantastic screenplay. While I don't think it'll get any Oscar love, hopefully some Golden Globes attention comes to it because Greta Gerwig, I think she got nominated a couple years ago for Frances Ha, which is a film that I haven't seen, but as soon as I got out of Mistress America, I was like, oh wait, hang on, they've done something together, right? And it was this one, and I'd heard about it. I was like, oh, I got to see that sometime. So I'm definitely, that's on my watch list now somewhere. There's a few other things here and there I need to watch first, but that one's on there. And yeah, once I see it again, maybe I'll kick Ex Machina out of the top spot for me. I have, if you saw my one of my Oscar videos or whatever, one of the last ones I'll mention, yeah, Ex Machina. I have seen it twice now, or no, three times, yeah. I've seen it twice since the first viewing, and I gave it a 9. I'm going to kick it up to a 10. It's, yeah, I guess, yeah, whatever complaint I had the first time around, nope, forget about it. It's a 10 out of 10. Really enjoyable. And Mistress America, I still haven't given it a score yet because I'm still determining if it's 9 or 10, but I'm pretty sure it's 10. It's just hilarious and heartwarming and endearing and great. Okay, so now we got that out of the way. Seriously, if Mistress America is playing near you and you're anyway interested in seeing the film, see it. It'll blow you away. All right, now we have Walk in the Woods. Yeah, I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it. In fact, no, I'm gonna go. No, it was painful to watch for me. Painful to watch. Okay, so this basically the story is Robert Redford and Nick Nolte are old friends who kind of meet up for the first time in decades, and they decide to take a hike, like a 2,000-mile hike along the Appalachian Trail. I guess it's supposed to be set in the 80s. I've figured this out since, but it in no way tries to replicate that. And I guess it's a true story as well, and it's based on a book and all that. Doesn't even come close, except for the characters' names, I guess, are the same. But I never got the impression that this was a real, this actually happened. No. And if this is how it actually happened, which I don't think it is because there's a lot of stereotyping in this here and there, that I was just like, if this was really what happened in real life, then I guess art really does imitate life. And yeah, anyways, but no, this was Redford and Nick Nolte. I mean, do we even have to say it? They're two of the greatest actors that have, of the 20th century that have moved into the 21st century and still continue to do great work. I mean, obviously there's there's tons of others. I mean, we don't even have to start naming them, but these are two that definitely pop up on a lot of lists. Even though Nolte has that poor thing where it's like every time he opens his mouth, it's like comes out instead of dialogue. But no, I didn't have a problem with him in this movie as far as understanding the dialogue. I know, yeah, people like Billy Crystal made a joke out of him the last time he was nominated for, I think it was Warrior, and other people make fun of him for that. I didn't have too much of a problem. Once I got into the fact, okay, or once I got into my head, okay, this is Nick Nolte, gotta listen closely. I could understand like 99% of his dialogue. And that's, yeah, good work. And yeah, Redford, I mean, it's great and it's appealing to see the two on screen. Their duo kind of works sometimes in the movie, sometimes. And the film starts pretty good. There's a first scene where Robert Redford has this very awkward interview with some guy from Boston or whatever, who's weirdly enough from Boston. Like it's set in Boston, but he's got like this total British accent. I don't know what that's about, but anyways, has a good start. Really funny, awkward interview here in the beginning. And then Emma Thompson and he go to a funeral in one of the next scenes, and that's pretty funny. And then after that, then as soon as the trail starts, then it's like all hell breaks loose for me as far as is the movie good or not? No, it's not. Because we just see, I mean, the film just becomes predictable. You can predict every single line before it happens. You can predict, there's certain scenes involving, believe it or not, and I didn't get the impression of this and I haven't seen all the trailers and all the TV spots and stuff for the film going in, but I was like, I didn't expect it to be like slapstick comedy in moments. I was expecting like, a drama about these two guys who, try to like mend their relationship, as friends as they go on this, walk in the woods, whatever that was. And I didn't know specifically it was a trail or not, but I guess, it is a trail. And wow, there are moments where it's like, okay, maybe other people around me laugh, but I was kind of, yep, saw that coming. Like there's pratfalls, there's, stuff breaks, and, people fall down, and there's, God, it's so stupid. And it's like, oh, too bad to see, like, Nick Nolte, Robert Redford, having to, to do this. Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. Like I said, the beginning, it kind of has a little promise to it. And it's like, yeah, I understand, Nick Offerman's even in there too for some reason. Anyways. But it's like, yeah, I understand. It's like, it kind of starts out as more of a drama with, some comedic moments in it here and there, comedic dialogue. And then it's like almost all-out comedy for the rest of the film with a few moments here and there, yeah, where they get serious and they kind of talk about life and they talk about, what they did wrong in the past and what they hope to do right in the future and what everything means and stuff. And Redford has, like, repeated lines of, the earth, where it's been, where it's going, stuff like that, evolution and nature and all that. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of nice. But then there's stupid shit, like there's a whole subplot involving Nick Nolte kind of, flirting with this girl that he meets, and then the husband comes out. It's like, oh my God, seriously, did you have to put that in the middle of the movie? And then I won't spoil it for the ending, but there's an ending that kind of, the ending didn't really work for me either. Because it kind of has this spot where the two kind of get stranded in a spot. I won't say all the specifics in case you want to go into it, not knowing everything. But there's a spot where they kind of get stranded and they kind of have to, they're kind of like, well, maybe, because, we hear about it in the beginning, there's stuff like decomposed bodies found on the trail and people get killed by bears on the trail. Another friggin' stupid scene there involving the bears. I seriously felt like, I was like, wow, do I have to take a bathroom break and go to another movie or something? If the rest of the movie's like this, which it kind of shapes up a little bit. But seriously, one of the worst scenes I've seen all year was that stupid friggin' bear scene, which I won't, no more about that. Anyways, but yeah, there's a scene where they're kind of stranded and they kind of talk over stuff, and I was like, okay, now we're getting better here, and that scene kind of helps elevate the movie for me a little bit score-wise. And then it's like the next scene, it's like I was kind of like looking at my watch a little bit too. Because I was getting ready to see Black Mass next, and I was like, hang on, this movie, wait, it's almost over. And then yeah, there's kind of a thing at the ending. I was like, ah, crap, really? And it was like, great message, Redford. Anyways, but as far as completion and stuff, okay, fine, forget about it. It's a book published, all that. They give up. They call it quits a little less than halfway through the trail. And I'm like, oh, great message, Redford. You're talking, the whole rest of the movie, you're talking Nick Nolte's ear off about we can't give up, let's keep going. And then you're just like, yeah, let's quit. It's like, yeah, and I get, there are times, in life where that happens, especially, not that the film was, mirroring it in any ways, but it's like, there are marriages that have to end, and, a marriage comes up. So I was like, yeah, it's true. Some stuff has to end. There's friendships have to end. Problems. Abusing problems, mental abuse, physical abuse, drug, alcohol abuse. There's times when when you're on a road, or you're on as it is in the film, on a trail, and it's like there are times where it's like you have to stop. It's like you can only go so far, and then you're like, this is all the further we can go. And it's like, well, it happens literally in the movie. They stop, and I was like, well, I'm fine with that, because it does, that happens in life too. But it's like, well, Redford, you spent half the movie talking to Nolte about we can't give up. It's like, Anyway, so the ending was, for me, pretty bad too. But yeah, so all in all, it's a 4 out of 10 for me, and barely. I'm close to a 3 out of 10 on this. But mainly the 4 out of 10 is there are lines, there are some zingers here and there from Redford and Nolte that are funny and are amusing, and the first 15 minutes or so are actually pretty entertaining, and and show good promise for the film. And yeah, like I said, toward the end, it starts to kind of course correct a little bit before it falls off again, but loses its way again. But yeah, that's about all I got to say about this. It's 4 out of 10, barely. If you're a total fan of Nick Nolte and Robert Redford, fine, go see it if you haven't already. And you know, if you'll see every last thing they're in, you know, you're an absolute fan of theirs, fine, go see it. Okay, good for you, but and you know, and you may like it too. You know, I can understand how people can like this because you know there are, yeah, you know, if you forgive the slapstick stuff, which for me I'm no, anyways, but when it comes to slapstick, I sometimes check out. But yeah, if you yeah, the appeal of Redford and Nolte might do it for you. Didn't do it for me, but oh well. Yeah, so that's my final score, 4 out of 10. Yep, last words. Black Mass coming up next.